Hello all, nice to meet you. Let's have a look on the poem Alice Fell or Poverty, written by the nature poet William Wordsworth. The poem tells about the woman Alice who is poor and in distress. William Wordsworth's poem often reflects about his deep compassion about the struggles of individuals, especially in rural and in disadvantaged settings. Let's see. Hi guys, now we are going to see about the poem Alice Fell or Poverty by William Wordsworth. It has some 15 stanzas. Now we are going to see the first stanza. The speaker begins by describing a journey in a carriage driven by a postboy, a boy who drives a coach. The moon is obscured by storm clouds, creating an eerie atmosphere. As the journey continues, the speaker hears a strange, unsettling sound which catches their attention. Stanza 2. The sound seems to come from many directions, almost as if the wind itself is creating it. The speaker notes that the sound continues and even seems to follow the carriage, making the situation more mysterious and eerie. Stanza 3. The speaker asks the postboy to stop the carriage so they can investigate. When they do, there is an eerie silence. Despite the earlier sound, there is nothing to hear now, creating a sense of tension and uncertainty. Stanza 4. The postboy resumes driving and they continue through the rain. Soon after, the same cry is heard again, stronger and clearer. The speaker tells the boy to stop once more, intrigued and concerned by the sound. Stanza 5. The speaker dismounts from the carriage and upon hearing the sound asks where it is coming from. To their surprise, they find a little girl sitting behind the carriage, seemingly the source of the sorrowful cry. The image of a lonely child in the dark adds to the atmosphere of mystery and sympathy. Stanza 6. The little girl in distress only says one word, "My cloak." She begins to cry bitterly, and the reader can sense her deep sorrow. She jumps down from her seat, her emotional reaction suggesting that she is overwhelmed by something related to her cloak. Stanza 7. The speaker asks the child what is wrong and she points to something caught in the carriage wheel. It turns out to be a rag cloak, worn and torn, and it's stuck in the wheel. The image of a weather-beaten rag evokes a sense of neglect and poverty, symbolizing the girl's hardship. Stanza 8. The clock is stuck tightly between the wheel's spokes and the axle. The nave is part of the wheel. The speaker and the postboy work together to free it. When they do, it becomes clear that the cloak is in terrible condition, barely more than a rag, symbolizing the girl's deep poverty and the difficulties she has faced. Stanza 9. The speaker, seeing the girl is alone, asks where she is heading on such a stormy night. She answers, "To Durham," and the speaker offers her a ride in the carriage, inviting her to join them and escape the cold and loneliness of the night. Stanza 10. The girl is too overwhelmed by her grief to respond to the offer of comfort. She continues to sob uncontrollably as though her sorrow is endless and will never subside. This emphasizes how deeply she has been affected by her situation. Stanza 11. The speaker, still concerned for her, asks where she lives in Durham. The girl, choking on her emotions, reveals her name, Alice Fell, and says that she is both fatherless and motherless. This unveils her tragic backstory and the depth of her loss and loneliness. Stanza 12. Alice, still overcome with sorrow,
says she belongs to Durham. The thought of her situation and the pain it causes her seems to choke her up again. The mention of the tattered cloak serves as a symbol of her hardships, and it's clear that her grief is connected to this cloak, representing her impoverished state and her orphaned status. Stanza 13. As the journey nears its end, Alice continues to sit by the speaker, weeping as though she has lost everything. Her grief is so deep that it seems like she has lost the last thing she had, perhaps even hope or any sense of belonging. Stanza 14. The speaker reaches the tavern and tells the host about Alice and her tragic story. Moved by her suffering, the speaker gives the host money to buy Alice a new cloak, replacing her tattered one with something warm and new. This act of kindness contrasts with the girl's earlier despair and represents a small but significant gesture of compassion. Stanza 15. The speaker specifies that the cloak should be of duffel grey, a material known for its warmth. The next day, Alice receives her new cloak and walks proudly, no longer burdened by the ragged one that symbolized her suffering. She stands tall and is visibly changed, suggesting that even the smallest acts of kindness can restore a person's dignity and spirit.